The Doom Blade. Start with the one Dr. Doom admitted to out loud. In Fantastic Four issue 28 by Ryan North, Reed Richards realizes that Doom has been studying magic and decides the team needs an answer to it. So they go hunting for something called the Fated Sword. They find it, and then Victor reveals that he engineered the entire search because the blade they dug up was never the Fated Sword at all. It is the Doom Blade, forged somewhere in the 1300s. Its location lost for centuries, hidden well enough that even Doom could not find it on his own. His description of it is the part that matters. Doom calls it the one magical weapon that could hurt him, not one of several, the one. And rather than take it as a trophy or lock it in a vault, he destroys it immediately, because a weapon that can kill him existing anywhere in the world is unacceptable. He used the smartest man alive as a search engine and then broke the thing he found. Reed and Sue walked away having personally removed the only guaranteed method of ending Dr. Doom from the Marvel Universe. Here is why this matters right now. On August 19th and 20th, leaked promotional images started circulating showing Dr. Doom posing with what looks like a sword and a shield. The account that posted them said they had been sitting on the files for a while and ran them through AI enhancement before uploading. Comic Book Movie picked them up. A sword is not a weapon anybody associates with this character. Doom fights with gauntlet blasts, force fields, and sorcery. He does not carry a blade, unless the blade is the point. Unless Marvel is adapting the Doom Blade and putting it in his hands specifically so nobody else can pick it up. The ultimate nullifier. Introduced in Fantastic Four issue 50 back in 1966 during the original Galactus story by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Uatu the Watcher sends Johnny Storm into Galactus' ship to retrieve it. Reed Richards then holds it up and threatens to use it, and Galactus, a being who eats planets for sustenance, backs down and leaves. That is the entire resolution. Not a fight, a threat. Marvel's own material describes the device as capable of annihilating Galactus and potentially the Earth along with him. Doom's personal assessment of it is the strongest endorsement in comics. In Dr. Doom issue 10 by Christopher Cantwell, Victor gets access to a parallel realities armory containing the greatest weapons in Marvel history. Every artifact, every cosmic instrument, all of it in one room. He picks up the Nullifier and uses it to erase every other weapon in the collection, plus the reality surrounding them. One press. Given the entire catalog, Doom decided the Nullifier made all of it redundant. He has also handed it off before, giving it to Zora Vukovic, his champion Victorious, which is either the deepest trust he has ever shown anyone or a calculated bet that she would never be able to fire it, because it comes with a condition. The user has to be of completely sound mind with absolute focus, and if they are not, the Nullifier destroys them at the moment of activation. It kills the wielder as readily as the target. And 2 days ago, Sideshow revealed a new Dr. Doom statue holding a small mysterious device that they are calling Doom's Key. Social media immediately decided it was the Nullifier. The other reading is the Library of Worlds from Hickman's Secret Wars, a place outside time that requires great keys to enter. Both fit Doomsday. Neither is confirmed. Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. The final shot of the Doomsday trailer is Thor charging in with Stormbreaker and Doom stopping the axe with 2 fingers. The internet read that as Doom being physically stronger than Thor. Watch it again and look at his hand. There is a rune on the gauntlet. Multiple outlets identified it as a blend of 2 Norse symbols, Othala and Ingwaz, both tied to concepts of home and protection. Marvel put the same rune on Doom's throne at their promotional events in Shanghai. The axe forged specifically to kill Thanos did not get overpowered. It got countered by a spell. That distinction changes everything about how the Asgardian weapons factor into this fight. If Doom were simply stronger, Stormbreaker would be useless, and Thor would need a completely different approach. But a counter is not immunity. A counter is a specific solution to a specific problem, and it can be overloaded, outscaled, or bypassed. Doom prepared for one enchanted hammer-class weapon coming at him from one direction. He caught it perfectly. The question the trailer is quietly asking is what happens when there is more than one? And there is more than one. The trailer ends with Steve Rogers proving his identity by lifting Mjolnir, which he has been worthy of since Endgame. The leaked image from June 28th shows Steve holding Mjolnir aboard the Fantastic Four's ship, with a second Mjolnir visible lying on the floor beside him. Fans assumed that was an AI artifact until the recent wave of confirmed photos made everyone reassess what they had dismissed. If 2 hammers exist across the timelines and Stormbreaker is still in play, Doom is facing 3 Asgardian weapons and 1 rune. Wolverine's adamantium claws. Doom's armor is not one thing. It is Latvian engineering with sorcery layered on top, and each half covers the other half's weakness. The technological side handles physical impact and projects force fields. The magical side absorbs and redirects energy, which is documented across decades of comics. He drained Count Nefaria of his powers entirely, leaving him aged and depleted. He built a component into his armor that siphoned off a fraction of the Beyonder's energy, and the Beyonder was functionally omnipotent. Point an energy weapon at Dr. Doom, and you are handing him a battery. Adamantium sidesteps the entire problem because it does not carry a charge. It is a metal. In the comics, it is the substance that cuts things that are not supposed to be cuttable, and its defining trait is that it does not negotiate with the properties of whatever it is going through. There is nothing for the armor's absorption systems to grab. No energy signature to redirect, just a blade coming down with a man behind it who does not stop when he is injured. The practical part is that Wolverine is already in this movie. Every leak wave from June through this week places Hugh Jackman in the opening sequence, and the recently authenticated set photos show him in the yellow suit in physical contact with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Whatever happens on that bridge, if Logan survives the incursion and reaches Latveria, he arrives carrying the only conventional weapon on the battlefield that Doom's armor was not specifically designed to neutralize. Everyone else is bringing energy to a fight against a man who eats energy. If you're loving these breakdowns, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. We've got more coming. Let's keep going. The 10 Rings. Shang-Chi ended in 2021 with the rings sending a signal into deep space, and Wong, Bruce Banner, and Carol Danvers admitting they had no idea what was receiving it. 5 years later, that thread is still hanging. The original plan almost certainly involved Kang, and when Kang got written out, the beacon lost its destination. The current theory places Dr. Doom on the other end, which fits his comic behavior perfectly, because Doom has spent his entire publication history collecting power from cosmic sources he did not originally own. But the rings themselves are the more useful angle for this list. Nobody in the MCU knows what they are. Wenwu wore them for 1,000 years and never learned their origin. They predate recorded history. They do not behave like the Infinity Stones. They are not Asgardian. They are not connected to the Ancient One's traditions, and Wong openly says they are unlike anything he has studied. They exist entirely outside every magical and technological framework the MCU has established. That is precisely why they are dangerous to Doom. Everything he does defensively depends on understanding the system he is countering. The rune on his gauntlet works because Asgardian enchantment is a known quantity with rules he has studied. His energy absorption works because energy behaves predictably. The 10 Rings are the one weapon in this universe operating on principles nobody has documented, including the man wearing them. You cannot build a counter for a system you have never seen. And Simu Liu's Shang-Chi is confirmed in Doomsday, with the trailer showing him fighting Gambit, Captain America's vibranium shield. Look at what Doom actually throws at people. His armor projects concussive force blasts from the gauntlets. It fires energy bolts across a wide spectrum. It generates an electrical current that shocks anyone who touches the suit. On top of that hardware, he layers magical blasts and mystical force fields from his sorcery training. The direct breakdown of his stats put his energy output at 6 out of 7, calling it one of the most versatile offensive arsenals in Marvel Comics. Almost none of it is physical. Doom wins fights at range with energy. Vibranium is the one material in the MCU whose defining property is eating exactly that. It absorbs kinetic force and energy impact and either holds it or releases it on command. Cap's shield has caught things across 80 years of publication and 15 years of film that it had no business catching, including Mjolnir strikes and repulsor fire at point-blank range. It is not a weapon that hurts Doom directly. It is the thing that lets somebody survive long enough to get close, which against this villain is the entire problem. And the shield situation in Doomsday is unusually crowded. Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson carries it as the current Captain America. Chris Evans is returning as Steve Rogers, confirmed in the trailer's final act. Wakanda is in this movie, with Shuri and M'Baku bringing Wakandan forces, which means the largest vibranium supply on Earth is aligned with the heroes. The one material engineered to nullify energy attacks is being brought to a war against a man whose entire arsenal is energy attacks. The Ebony Blade. The Eternals post-credit scene introduced Dane Whitman opening a case containing a black sword with an off-screen voice asking if he is ready for it. That was 2021. Kit Harington's Black Knight has not appeared since, and the Ebony Blade has been sitting in a case in the MCU for 5 years waiting for a reason to come out. Doomsday is the largest gathering of heroes and magical artifacts in Marvel history, and it is a reasonable place for a forgotten weapon to resurface. What makes it belong on this list is the category it falls into. Go back to the Doomblade. Doom's stated vulnerability was not to a weapon in general, it was specifically to a magical weapon. That is a meaningful distinction given everything else about him. Technological weapons get handled by the armor. Energy weapons get absorbed and redirected. But a cursed blade forged from meteoric metal and bound with sorcery is the exact class of object he went to enormous lengths to erase from the world. The Ebony Blade in the comics cuts through nearly anything, including magic itself, which matters against a villain who defends himself with mystical force fields. TVA pruning technology, the most overlooked weapon in the entire franchise, because Loki presented it as bureaucratic equipment rather than a superweapon. TVA agents carry batons that do not kill people in the normal sense. They prune them, The target is removed from the timeline, which is a fundamentally different outcome than dying. No body remains. No resurrection is possible. The person is deleted from the sequence of events that produced them, and everything downstream of their existence unwinds. Standard issue hardware for a middle manager at a time agency. Against Doctor Doom, this bypasses every defense he has. His armor stops physical force, his magic absorbs energy, his intellect anticipates strategy. None of those systems address a weapon that operates on his position in time rather than his position in space. There is nothing to block because nothing is being thrown. His mother's curse, his scarred face, his stolen godhood, the entire architecture of his character depends on a personal history existing. Pruning removes the history, and TVA hardware is confirmed to be in Doomsday. The trailer shows a TVA card being held, and careful frame analysis identified the hand as Loki's rather than Steve's, which means the God of Stories still has access to agency resources after taking the throne at the World Tree.